You are watching Hot Indonesia with Sandrina, Millie, and me. Here's hot topic number 2, pressure rising. A new report by Human Rights Watch says females in Indonesia are feeling increasingly forced to cover their heads. In this country, the wearing of hijabs or jilbabs is a choice among Muslims, but the international watchdog group says the dress code pressure has increased substantially in recent years, even extending to non-Muslims. Now, we recently talked about the case in which a Christian schoolgirl was forced to wear a head covering. The Minister of Education responded with a ban on orders such as that in all state schools. Millie, let's start with you. Are you seeing the results of that pressure that Human Rights Watch is talking about?
Well, actually, for me, this is not my area of expertise, of course. It's more Sandrina's. But for me, wearing hijab should be a personal choice. Should not be a pressurized, or should not be anything other than personal choice. And as a woman, I can only suggest to choose a hijab that is really corresponding and matching with the dress that you're wearing at that on that day.
Okay, so you're looking at it as a more fashion thing, but of course it's a religious issue. But and Millie, what I meant was, are you seeing more women wearing head coverings in this country than before, say 10, 20 years ago?
Yes, of course, and I do not mind that at all. In fact, I find it very. It's not only fashionable; it's beautiful and it's pretty, and but it should be again a personal choice rather than being pressured to do this or to do that. I do not feel any negativity or whether this is something positive. It's just a personal choice, and it should be that.
Okay, Sandrina, you often talk about wearing the hijab, your personal reasons. Now, to make it clear, and correct me if I'm wrong, from our understanding of Islam, is there a clear command for women to cover their heads, or is it a matter of interpretation?
Okay, before I answer your question, again, as I have repeatedly stated, and you just underlined also, for me, wearing the hijab is not a form of proclamation that I am more Muslim than other women who do not wear the hijab. For me, this is personal, based on my personal understanding. It is about me finding comfort in my heart, in walking my life as a human being, as a Muslimah. Is wearing the hijab compulsory based on Islamic teachings, or is it just a matter of interpretation? I will try to answer this carefully based on the facts of religious life that exists and continues to develop in Indonesia. As this is a very sensitive issue, Dalton, I'm surely not a tafsir expert. Tafsir refers to exegesis, usually of the Quran. But even though I'm not a tafsir expert, I have had the opportunity to learn a bit and read about the different opinions of these tafsir experts. It is a fact that there are different opinions and debates amongst the musafirs. The authors of this tafsirs is known as a mufassir. In those debates, there's this one tafsir expert, highly respected not only in Indonesia but also internationally, Professor Shihab. According to Professor Shihab, wearing the hijab in the form of a head cover like what I'm wearing is not compulsory. Of course, many other mufassirs object him. I believe it would be wise for Muslims to respect these differences and not force certain opinions against each other. Both Professor Shihab's point of view as well as other mufassirs who oppose him must be mutually respected. This is what we call religious maturity, something we need to have and practice in a country as rich and diverse as Indonesia. By doing so,
that would be fine if everybody were left alone to make their own decisions, but we know that's not the case here.
It ought to be. It ought to be that way.
And I want to ask you that shortly, but first let me ask Millie, besides rules and regulations, peer pressure is a factor. For example, when classmates tease or bully girls who don't wear head coverings, right, Millie?
Right, of course, and not only wearing hijab, but bullies and pressures, of course, in all aspects of our lives do exist. My personal point of view, again, it is a personal choice, and you should not be bullied, and do not ever correspond to anything other than your own belief about yourself and for yourself.
Yeah, and in the case of the Christian girl who was bullied by her or forced to wear by her school, she complained to her parents. The parents went to the school, they got that order rescinded. So it also starts in the family, yeah, teaching the right philosophy and letting their children decide. Okay, now, Sandrina, it is a religious issue, yes, but what must the government do or do better to honor everyone's beliefs?
Secularism firmly separates religion and country. Usually, the Islamic community opposes this. The Islamic society usually believe that practices in a country should reflect religious practices. Well, I personally would like to invite all Muslims to not only literally understand the Islamic beliefs or teachings in a textual and rigid manner. In my humble opinion, there should still be a limit or boundary in which a country or state may not impose or force a certain religious tafsir to everyone, including to those who believe differently or have different tafsirs or understanding. Aside from that, there's still a line that separates public and personal areas in practicing religion. This means the country or state has to care and manage certain matters in the public domain, while at the same time, the state has to provide freedom to everyone to practice their own beliefs or religion. So I agree, Dalton. The state or government must honor everyone's beliefs. The first principle in our state philosophy, Pancasila, namely Ketuhanan Yang Maha Esa, or belief in the one and only God, should not be seen as an acknowledgement that the government or state has the right to control or manage everyone's religious practices. And in fact, this first principle underlines the importance that the freedom for all citizens to practice religious beliefs based on legitimate religious tafsirs must be protected and honored.
And I think we got to separate this from a dress code. Dress codes are for often safety reasons or neatness or I guess conformity, but religious dress codes are a different thing because it goes to personal beliefs. Okay, more Hot Indo is ahead with